Welcome to 21st Sports 2015 season preview for the San Francisco 49ers. We're going to go over the roster and the regular season schedule and make predictions for all the 16 games in the 17 weeks in the regular season. But let's start off with the roster, and they've had quite the change. Of course, Jim Harbaugh is off to Michigan, and Tom Sula is the new head coach as he has been promoted from within. And they have lost 10 starters on this team. But the one guy they do have is Colin Kaepernick. They still got Colin Kaepernick as their quarterback. You got to almost feel bad for Colin that he lost his coach in Jim Harbaugh. And he lost everybody else around him. His whole team is gone. And how is he going to do this year? Last year, he threw for 3,369 yards, 19 touchdowns. He had 10 interceptions. But he rushed for 639 yards. He had one touchdown on the ground, so he is a dual threat. Of course, Frank Gore, the 1,000-yard-plus rusher, is gone, and Carlos Hyde will be taking over the main duties. They, he was there last year, but they also brought in Reggie Bush, although Reggie Bush had an off year last year, and we'll see how he does moving forward. Bruce Miller is the fullback. And of course, Anquan Boldin is a very talented receiver. They did bring in Torrey Smith, so it'll be interesting to see what he can add to their offensive passing attack. And you do have Vernon Davis at tight end. But then over on defense, this is really where they've been gutted, as they lost a lot of defensive players and a lot of defensive talent. But this is how it shapes up this year. You got Glenn Dorsey up front, Ian Williams, Quentin Dial. Then in the linebacking core, Ahmad Brooks, Navarro Bowman, Michael Wilhoit, and Aaron Lynch. Lynch and Brooks on the outside, Bowman and Wilhoit on the inside. So you do have some talent there. And then on the corners, you got Tremaine Brock, Kenneth Aker, and then at safety, you got Eric Reed Free and Antoine Bethea at strong. So it'll be interesting to see how that defense performs with all the players that they lost. I really expect to be a work in progress, and it's going to be a struggle for them to really get anything going on defense. And then special teams, you have Phil Dawson, a kicker. Bradley Pinion is the punter, and it looks like handling the punt and kick return duties, most likely it's going to be Reggie Bush. He is somewhat of a return specialist, although he's gotten away from that somewhat more in the last couple years, but it'll be interesting to see how that develops as well. So it's a whole new team, a whole new coach, and I believe they're going to have a lot of struggles in 2015. But let's get to week one. They're going to be on Monday Night Football, and they're going to be hosting the Minnesota Vikings. This is going to be a tough game, and this is a second of a doubleheaders. There's two Monday Night Football games to start off in week one. That's, of course, September 14th. Theirs is going to be kicking off at 10:20 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 7:20 on the West Coast. Of course, the Niners play in the West Coast, but all these times are going to be Eastern. But I have them losing to Minnesota. I think Minnesota's a good young team, and they're getting back AP. So then in week two, you got September 20th, 1 o'clock kickoff on a Sunday. They're going to Pittsburgh, and I see them losing this game to Pittsburgh. I think it's going to be a long, tough season for the Niners. They said they got so much, changeover and everything. It's really just one of those years. They're kind of in transition. And so then week three, September 27th, it's a 4 o'clock kickoff in Arizona against the Cardinals. And I have them losing that game as well. Week four, October 4th, another 4 o'clock kickoff. This is 4:25 at home against the Packers. And the Packers are the class of the NFC. And this used to be a classic game, but I think the Packers are going to go in there and beat them no problem. Then week 5, October 11th, Sunday Night Football, their second game in prime time, 8:30 kickoff in New York against the Giants. And this could be an interesting game, but I have the Giants winning this one, although San Fran might be able to, at that point, have gotten things a little bit more together to compete here at this point. But week 6 is when I have them actually winning their first game at home, October 18th, 4:25 kickoff against the Ravens. I think that they can beat Baltimore. Be a rematch from the Super Bowl from a few years ago. So then week 7, October 22nd, a short week, Thursday Night Football, their third game in prime time. This one at home against their division rivals, the Seattle Seahawks, as it's their first division rivalry game of the season all the way in week 7. And even though it is in San Fran, it's a transition year for the Niners, and so they're not going to win a lot of games. And I got the Seahawks winning this one. Then they get a long, rest before week 8, November 1st, 1 o'clock on a Sunday, going to St. Louis to face the Rams, and I have the Rams in this game. Week 9, November 8th, 4 o'clock kickoff at home against the Falcons, and I have Atlanta winning this one. It's a year, it's a transition year. They're going to end up probably getting, a number 1 or definitely a top 5 pick in the draft. But week 10 is their bye week. Week 11, November 22nd, they'll be going to Seattle to face the Seahawks for the second time, 4:25 kickoff, and I have the Seahawks sweeping the season series versus the Niners. Then week 12, November 29th, 4 o'clock kickoff at home against the Cardinals, and I have Arizona sweeping the season series. So I have them getting swept by both the Seahawks and the Cardinals in division. And then week 13, December 6th, they're going to Chicago. And this is a stretch where they have 3 out of 4 games on the road. And this one in Chicago, I have them losing this game. And then week 14, December 13th, 1 o'clock in Cleveland, I have them losing to the Browns. Then week 15, December 20th, it's their final primetime game of the season. It's their in primetime for the 4th time in the year, which is kind of odd that they put the Niners in primetime for so many games when there's other teams that are going to be a lot better. It's like, everyone wants to just see the Niners get beat up on when they've been gutted. But so December 20th, 8:30 kickoff, primetime Sunday Night Football. They're hosting the Bengals, and the Bengals are going to rout them at this point. Then week 16, December 27th, 1 o'clock kickoff in Detroit against the Lions. I have them losing that one. Then week 17, January 3rd, the final game of the season. It finally comes to an end, and the pain stops, 4:25, and they lose to the Rams at home, and the Rams sweep them as they lose all their games in the division, and they go 1-15. It might not be as bad as all that, but it probably will. Is they really, you can't get rid of a winner and expect to win, and Jim Harbaugh is a winner. And the owners have screwed the fans in San Francisco. They booted out a winner, and Tomsula, he's just kind of the guy who just happens to be the coach. But you got to figure if he's the coach, it's because the owners know they can control him and tell him what to do. And they can just, anytime an owner takes control of a team and he wants to do more than they're capable of, it's like your job is to own the team and just finance things and run the money end of it. Let the coaches coach. Stay off the field. Stay out of the coaching box. Let the coaches do their job. When the owners get too involved, that's when the team loses. And they run out a guy who had them in the Super Bowl. Jim Harbaugh, one of the best coaches in all of football. You run him off, you're going to lose, and you're going to lose bad. It's going to be 1-15. They're going to lose for a long time, too. They're going to suck for 3 or 4 years now because of this. And it's just the fans get screwed over by the owners. So if you gotta don't be upset with me. Be upset with the owners of the San Francisco 49ers. But that's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Definitely interested to read your thoughts and opinions. Thank you very much for listening. It is greatly appreciated. I hope you're having a good day and had a great weekend. And enjoy all the sports.